5 real-life scenes that could be in the 9 o'clock soap, as they portray the external and internal pressures and obstacles that mature women face on a daily basis. Scene 1, the first time at a dermatologist. I turned 40 and decided to go to a dermatologist for the first time in my life so that she could recommend a sunscreen and moisturizer, products I had never used before. Watching my face closely, like a detective looking for evidence of my decrepitude with a magnifying glass, she said in an accusatory tone, "Why don't you get your eyelids fixed? They're too droopy. You'll be 10 years younger." And she continued in an even more cruel tone, "Why don't you fill in around the lips? You have a Chinese mustache. You'll be 10 years younger." And the final stab, "Why don't you get Botox on your forehead? You've got a lot of wrinkles on your face. You'll be 10 years younger." I paid for the appointment and left the office with a deep existential crisis. Instead of being 10 years younger, I gained half a century of worrying about aging marks that were once invisible to me. First old phobia lesson: the disgust for the aging female body is fueled by experts and the youth and beauty industry. Scene 2, a simple trip to the cinema. I always liked going to the movies alone, sitting in the front row and fully immersing myself in the film. When I was 45 years old, I heard the comment of 2 women, accompanied by their respective spouses, "Look at Mirian Goldenberg. She has 10 books published, but she doesn't have a husband or boyfriend to come to the movies with her. Poor thing, I'm sorry of her so alone." Second lesson in old phobia: women don't accept the choices of other women who don't have to display a man as a trophy, what I called marital capital. Scene 3, the childhood friend's advice. I turned 50 and a childhood friend advised me, "Why don't you have plastic surgery and get Botox? Do you really want to be so old and ugly? Have you retired from life?" The curious thing is that, not being able to recognize the girl she once was, I found it more beautiful to be a finished old woman than a plasticized and paralyzed turkey. Looking at her face so mutilated and deformed made me sure that I want to remain myself at every stage of my life. Third class of old phobia: many women amputate their truest self because they panic about getting old. Scene 4, the feminist activist's accusations. I turned 55 and went to a book launch with my new boyfriend. A well-known feminist activist looked at me in surprise, "Mirian, you just broke up. Why do you need a man so much?" I was shocked by the aggressive question and replied, "I don't need a man for anything. I don't need anyone to pay my bills or solve my problems. I think it's just because I don't need a man that I've found a partner who makes me happy. He knows I'm with him not because I have to, but because I want to. It's a free choice, not a necessity or social imposition." Fourth class of old phobia: some women who think they are libertarian are also prejudiced and want to imprison women's choices. Scene 5, the self-portrait of old age. In 2020, I gave a long interview about old phobia in Brazil. I couldn't be happy with the excellent article, as I could only see my featured photo. Wow, I'm so old. Shame on you, everyone will see that I aged 20 years during the pandemic. Since March 2015, I joke that I'm 93 years old because I started to have only nonagenarian friends. I didn't see the beauty of my own old age. Even though I learned that the important thing is not chronological age, but the age of the soul, I could not recognize that my soul did not age, but that it has blossomed with time. The most important lesson: the cruelest old phobia is inside me.